Hey there, welcome to your monthly astrology forecast for January 2021. I'm excited to share the astrology of this month with you. We'll talk about the planets that are changing signs, some of the most important aspects that are happening this month, especially Jupiter square Uranus. Mars and the Sun are also making several very important aspects. The lunar cycles, of course, and we have a Mercury retrograde as well. So we'll talk about all of that. And then I have a couple of lucky days that I want to share with you as well that you may want to mark on your calendar. My name is Shawna McGrath. I am an astrologer and a counselor in San Diego, California. And I'm excited to share this astrology with you so that you can really make the most out of this month. So, right at the top, at the beginning, we have 3 planets that are changing signs. So this marks a change in the tone of these planets and the way that their symbols may manifest. So we have Mars moving into Taurus, we have Venus moving into Capricorn, and then the Sun moving into Aquarius. So Mars moving into Taurus is the most important for me because this marks a dramatic change in Mars energy. We've had Mars in the sign of Aries for a very long time because it went retrograde for most of the summer, this past summer in 2020. So this month may be a change where you're able to move forward. Mars is about movement, it's about action, it is about acting from your instincts. And it's about wanting to act and wanting to quickly see progress. So for many of us, Mars in Aries, this retrograde, there was this period of really needing to be patient. And there is a lot of that this month as well because of an aspect that Mars is making to Saturn, which we'll talk about in a moment. But this marks a transition period. So that you're able to move forward on projects or situations where it may have felt like you were needing to wait for a long period of time. Again, this was primarily in the summer of 2020. So Mars moving into Taurus, I think, will be a bit of a relief and a bit of you're able to move forward. And this is going to be most applicable to people that have Mars in a strong placement in their birth chart, or if they have Aries in a strong placement. So for you, it may be interesting to look at that as well. Now, the other part of what's happening this month is we have 2 lunar cycles, as usual. We have the new moon that's happening in Capricorn and the full moon that's happening in Leo. So new moon in Capricorn is exact on January 12th at 9 p.m. Pacific time. This new moon is about starting and initiating any situation that involves a feeling of success and accomplishment and achievement. It's about really getting down to doing the things that you need to do in order to create the life that you want. Very appropriate for January, right? The full moon in Leo is exact on the 28th of January at 11:16 a.m. Pacific time. And the full moon in Leo is about celebrating the gifts that you have, and appreciating yourself, surrounding yourself with situations that allow for that to happen, allow for you to celebrate and appreciate and adore yourself and adore the people that are in your life. Now I am hosting a new moon and a full moon circle this month for each of those, so make sure that you're on my newsletter list to get notice of those. You can just sign up for that by going to my website, shawnamcgrathastrology.com, and I'll have a link to that below. So these are really important points to note, the new moon and the full moon. We want to think about moving forward and growth kind of activities and taking action, especially because this is a new moon in Capricorn. It is about moving into the world and putting yourself out there, taking action. And a big part of this month too is taking action despite not having experience or being insecure or having any fears or hesitation. So it's important to notice those, and sometimes it is very important to pay attention to those because those are important information for you. But a lot of what's happening this month is around questioning fears, questioning insecurities. And so a big part of this is Mars is going to make several aspects. It will make a square to Saturn. It will also come into contact with Uranus and Jupiter. So this for Mars, we talked about Mars being initiation, action, doing, physical action, tangible action that you can say, I did this. Now, Mars making a square to Saturn shows that there is a desire to move, to act, to take action. But there's also a need to be patient. It takes time. This is Saturn. So there's a bit of this. And it may be interesting to look back on how things were working for you over summer of 2020, what those feelings are, what those challenges are, because it's sort of a return to those kinds of situations. Now, this is a very different, or it's a different tone because Mars is now in Taurus. And so there's a change, patience is still required, but you're able to move forward in a different way. Another part of this is that once Mars does move into Taurus, it will aspect Uranus and Jupiter. And these planets are about change and growth and abundance and having new opportunities. So I want you to know that it is important to be patient, but that there is something else that comes out of that patience. When you're patient and thoughtful and determined, there is something new that can open for you. Now, the other part of what's happening this month is the Sun is going to make several aspects as well to Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and then it's going to square Uranus. So all of these are really about working with your sense of power and autonomy, control. The Sun is a symbol of your willpower to say, I am going to do this, or I am this way. This is who I am. That is the Sun. And so what is it that you're doing this month? What is your initiation? What is it that you want? The Sun is very self-focused in a healthy way. You do need that in order to move through the world. You do need to be able to focus on yourself and what it is that you're doing, what it is that you want, even if you're in a position where you need to do for others. You always have to have that steady standing, and that you're reminded of that this month. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of achievement and success that can come from the Sun making aspects to Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter like it is this month. And then we also have that aspect to Uranus, which is about new innovations and new ways of being, new ways of expressing yourself. So that also leads into another major aspect that's happening this month as well, which is Jupiter square Uranus. And so if you have my 2021 Moon Journal, you've had a chance to read a little bit about this. This is in the important transit section. This is more related to broad collective and social themes, but it can also play out within your personal birth chart as well. Jupiter is about growth and expansion and abundance, prosperity. It is where we grow. So it's where you grow and develop in your birth chart within your life as an individual, but then also transiting Jupiter is about where you're growing from day to day, month to month, year to year. And so this Jupiter, this growth aspect coming into contact with Uranus, which is about change, radical, unexpected surprises, doing things totally different. This is radically new ways of growing and even like new inspirations, new innovations, and especially in the way that you are supported in the way that you develop. Could be even in the way that you make money. So I would really watch out for that. Again, we do have one of the more influential aspects this month is Mars square Saturn. So there is a serious tone to that. There is a heaviness. There is a weightedness. There are things that need to be done. There's a thoroughness to that aspect. But then there's also this open and creative way of doing things with the Jupiter-Uranus. So I want you to know that it is important to be patient and to be resourceful, but then also be open to new things that may come your way, new ideas and new insights. And even if you're not able to implement them now, what would it take to create that implementation? Now, the other part that's happening this month is we do have a Mercury retrograde. So this is happening from January 30th through February 20th. And it's happening in Aquarius. So we have a lot still happening in Aquarius, right? We have Jupiter and Saturn that are just fresh into that sign. We have the Sun moving into Aquarius. So there is an opportunity here for you to review and reflect, to retool things, to revise things. Now, Mercury retrograde is infamous for being a time when it's not great to start something brand new, but it is great to think about your life, to think about the way that you do things. Aquarius as a sign is associated with humanitarian things, with collective themes, with groups and organizations. It's also associated with technology. And so this period of January 30th through February 20th is a good time to revise things in your life that are around those themes, but anything that, like even if it's just your thinking about your day-to-day schedule, is it working for you? The people that you associate with, how do you show up? What roles do you take on? And is there anything that you would like to change? So we'll talk more about that in February. But it's a time for contemplation moving into that month. So lucky days for you. So the 11th of January is a particularly lucky day, and that's because Mercury will be conjunct Jupiter. So Mercury is the mind, thoughts, ideas. Jupiter is growth, abundance, prosperity. So this is well before Mercury stations retrograde. So that day feels like very auspicious for any kind of creative work or writing or communication, presenting proposals, publishing, anything where you're getting the word out, or any kind of divination practice as well, because Mercury is also associated with divination and intuition. So that the 11th of January is a particularly lucky day. And then I want you to also be thinking about the 12th through the 28th is a time of growth and doing and putting your energy more into the external world. So this is when the moon is growing in light, it's waxing. So that's the period from the new moon on the 12th to the full moon on the 28th. And again, I am hosting moon circles for each of those, so make sure that you're on my newsletter list to get an email about when those dates are, and so that you can sign up. Also, have you gotten my 2021 Moon Journal yet? That is a lovely resource to really dig in more to the lunar cycles. There is an interpretation for every single new moon and every single full moon, very in depth, and it has a space for you to do your reflections and rituals or anything else that you like with the lunar cycles. I am wishing you a super wonderful month. I'm sending you lots of love and wishes for health and success and for you to feel good. Talk to you later.